Later in the podcast,
let's bring back bullying. Children should not be able to have a phone or social media until at least 8th grade.
Basically, the solar eclipse happened right as he died. He died and the solar eclipse was happening. Talk about the Drake album.
I think that it's kind of mid.
I got $800 from a random customer.
Man, I wish I was just back in high school.
What
mainly.
do you think you are? Or your parents?
I think I'm poverty right now.
Let's bring back bullying. Listen.
What did you just say?
Hear me out. Some people just need to get bullied to get humbled, you know?
It's kind of the realest thing I've heard you ever say. I'm not even gonna lie.
Cause those annoying people that you can tell have clearly never been told no or have never been bullied ever.
Have you been in Instagram comments recently?
No, why?
All they say is the N-word over again. It's so bad.
I think it's just always been like that. And
no, it's worse. It's worse.
How?
I can show you any Instagram reel on my feed right now. I don't know why it's on my feed. It wasn't because of me. I can show you it right now.
I think you're just into controversial things.
Look at this dude in the purple right here. This is literally all Instagram comment sections.
See, but people like him, he needs to get bullied though.
He doesn't need that. That's horrible.
No, not comments like that, but he should still deserve to get bullied.
Yeah, I agree. I agree to an extent, but these people go too far.
Calling someone a name like that, that's not cool, man.
That's hundreds of the comments, and a lot of the videos are that. A lot of toxicity in the comment section, but I'm kind of here for it though. In a way.
Okay.
In a way. I think people do need to start getting bullied again, but people are going to take that out of context.
Yeah.
It's the people that are doing 11-year-olds that are sitting on their phone doing thirst traps. We'll say for girls, for example, they're sitting on their phone in a little bikini outfit and they're 11 years old. I was not 11 years old in bikinis, so no.
Well, you didn't know any girls that did that?
It's getting worse now, but it's getting worse.
Wow.
And I feel like they should just not be doing that, especially when they're not even old enough to be on social media.
I think that children should not be able to have a phone or social media until at least maybe 8th grade.
The thing is, there's an age limit already set on social media. All social media apps are 13.
But some kids will lie about their age just to be able to be on social media.
I know, but there is already a limit. There's already a restriction, but people just bypass it because they can change their birth date. So yeah. I had this idea when I was younger of how to start bypassing it, and it's you have to put in a birth date. Mm-hmm. You have to put in a parent email and your email. So if you put in your email twice, it won't work. You have to put in a separate email to confirm your actual birth date if it's under 13. But if it's above 13, between 13 to 18, you have to get a parent's permission, send an email to your parent.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty smart because a lot of people will just skip to the teens and they'll try from there, but maybe they won't go past that and then they'll just get rejected there. It'll just end right there. I'm so thirsty all the time.
You're a thirsty man. What can I say? All right.
For your episode, I wanted to talk about the solar eclipse that happened recently because it's recent. But I know you didn't actually get to watch it with your eyes, but I know you've seen one before.
Yeah.
Do you know that there's actually real stories that old civilizations used to believe in, that solar eclipses, what they brought, what they meant?
No.
Things like that?
I didn't know that was a thing.
There's different societies that believe different things because I know ancient Mayans, Incans, Aztecs, all of those three, they believed that it was a bad omen whenever the solar eclipse would happen. They would have somebody else look at the sun for them because obviously you can't look at the sun unless it's a full eclipse, but they wouldn't know that yet unless they had somebody else looking. So they would take somebody else, have them look up in the sky, and whenever a solar eclipse would happen, that would be considered a bad omen / their god was planning something bad maybe, or there was a bad god planning something. Any of those things, that's what it meant back then to them. That's what it meant.
That's wild. I never heard about any of these things.
But there's also a difference in solar eclipses. I don't know if you knew this, but not all of them are also the same. There's one where it's totality, where the moon fully covers the sun for a minute-ish, and it'll slowly uncover itself. But whenever it's fully covered, that's the rarest solar eclipse, because the moon has to line up exactly where the sun's lined up, exact distances away from each other for it to actually be blocked out fully by the sun. That's what happened when we were in 7th grade, 6th grade. That's the solar eclipse that happened. Like, it was fully covered. You couldn't see anything. I don't know how it was in Texas, but in Oregon, you said you saw that one, though, I thought.
I don't remember it like exactly, but I remember that one happened.
Yeah, well, at least in Oregon, because there's a path that it travels across the globe, right? It's like, you know how hurricanes have that path that they travel?
Yeah.
It's the same thing for solar eclipses. Like, some will travel in, like, say, a little C shape, a little curved shape.
Uh-huh.
And that's why Texas, why we just saw ours the most vividly in the United States, because it was barely clipping Texas and going across, like, the globe. But everywhere else, like in New Mexico, it only had 80% covered. But here it was 90%. And I'll put images in the podcast so you guys can look at how it looked for us here. And obviously you can let us know how it looked for you guys too, because I would want to know that. That's pretty cool stuff in my opinion.
100%.
I like the solar eclipses a lot because I know, and I was looking at other cultures too. And there was one time where I believe in either European countries or Asian countries, they were at a war at the time, and there was a solar eclipse that happened, and it took them out of this centuries long war because they saw this solar eclipse and they thought it meant that they should team up together, stop fighting. They saw it as like a sign to end war finally and stop fighting. It might have been in like Middle Eastern countries. There was also, I remember this one vividly. There was in Chinese culture, I believe, at least, correct me if I'm wrong, right? In Chinese culture, they believed that whenever there was a solar eclipse, it was like a dragon eating the sun. Like a dragon was coming by, eating up the sun and passing through it. And I don't know if they thought that was good or bad. I think they thought it was bad, but that's what they believed was happening. Like a lunar dragon was eating up the sun, which I thought was super cool.
I did not know any of
I looked it up like a few days ago because
That's wild.
I've heard of the Aztec Incan stuff in a movie before, I think, but I wanted to see if there was more cultures that had different stuff. And there was another one in England too, where there was a King Philip, I think, on throne. And basically the solar eclipse happened right as he died. He died and the solar eclipse was happening. So they took that as like a horrible omen in England.
That's hilarious.
But go ahead, talk about the Drake album. That's you now.
Okay, I think that it's kind of mid, to be honestly. I only heard like 2 songs on there. I'm gonna be so honest.
Oh my gosh,
I
man.
heard the one with, Sexy Red. And then the one with Bad Bunny. I didn't like the one that he did with Bad Bunny because Drake's like way of like singing or rapping in Spanish was just horrible. It offended me in so many ways. So like I didn't like that song, but I liked Bad Bunny's verse in it because it's always a hit. It's
always
never
heat.
a miss. It's always heat, bro.
Yeah.
And then the one with Sexy Red. Obviously, that's my favorite one.
You took that over your own culture. You took Sexy Red over your own Bad Bunny, that stuff.
It's so good. It's so good though. It's so good. I didn't really care to listen to the rest of the album.
I'll bring the culture to the people that they want it obviously so bad. I listen to every single song, every second of the whole entire album. Whole album. I listen to every single second, right?
New Music Friday.
I think, though, that Drake has done a good job in the past. You know his last song that he made with Bad Bunny? He made a song before this with him. Do you know it?
Mm-hmm. That's what it's called, Mia.
Did you like that song?
It was alright.
I kind of liked it. I think it was a good mixture between them because eventually it's going to be like that. Cultures are going to combine in music, and it's a good thing that's happening now. I feel like they need more Asian culture mixed in with music right now.
100%.
Because there's a lot of black, white, Mexican, all that together right now, but they need some more Asian. We need some more like Middle Eastern. All that combined together, that's going to be on Billboard charts soon. I can predict it because what's happening now is you have like Kali Uchis, I don't know how to say her name, but
love her.
Yeah, and Don Toliver make a song together. It's a hit, instant hit. Combining genres, combining artists from different cultures brings a whole variety of people together that you wouldn't have in any other situation. That's why Bad Bunny listeners can tune into the Drake album and still be interested in it
100%.
because they can listen to a song that actually matters to them. And although Drake didn't spit on that song, he was not spitting.
He was not spitting.
It's still good for the industry to get more viewers, more diverse viewers into rap, different culturally sound music. And then we're all together now. And that brings in a bigger pool, a bigger audience, a bigger message. Because if you listen to the rest of the Drake album, what he's been doing his past 4 albums now, it starts off with Certified Boy Lover, right? And then from Certified Boy Lover, we go to Honestly Nevermind. So he was originally a boy lover, certified, and then we go to Honestly Nevermind. So in the first album.
Hold on, let me stop you right there though. What did you think about Honestly Nevermind?
Oh, that one is trash.
Okay, thank you. That was like no offense to Drake. I've been
you know how sticky it gets?
I do like that one. But like the album as a whole,
trash.
One of the worst albums he's ever made. And
Drake.
I've been listening to Drake. I have been listening to Drake since I was like in 4th grade. But when Honestly Nevermind came out, I just could not stop cringing at it the whole time.
It was bad, but the whole reason is because he starts off with his Certified Lover Boy album.
That's not the...
Listen. His Certified Lover Boy album starts off heartbreak. Most of the songs on there, pretty much heartbreak, or he's talking about a girl and he's getting his heart broken. Honestly Nevermind is his like bounce back music. It's not good music. It's not supposed to be good because when you're coming out of a breakup, your mind is not good. You're obviously in a bad mental state. Honestly Nevermind is him recovering from the heartbreak that he experienced in the first album.
Like
right?
him firing back type thing?
Yeah, and if you put it in real life perspective, if you get into a breakup, the first month or so, you're mad. You're going to be saying all these things. You're going to be trying to come back, bounce back off anything that happened from before. And I feel like that's what the album is. It's not supposed to be perfection. It's supposed to be like, this is what true music is, like after this feeling happens. And then we move on to Her Loss. It's called Her Loss.
Yeah, that's the one.
Because that's when he's finally over everything and he's got all his thoughts composed. He's got his boy 21 Savage on the album together with him. He's not... I would say that's like album of the year. Whenever it was made,
it has to be.
It was so good. I listened to every single song on repeat. 100%. Every single song was good. Some I wouldn't listen to on repeat, but a lot of the songs were good. And that's because it all correlates together. And now we're in the final album. So this is for all the dogs because it's a comeback. It's like, this is sharing my experience of my heartbreak and I'm sharing it to all the dogs. It all makes sense. It all lines up. It's a full collection. The albums all line up together.
I don't know. I think like Drake is low-key. After Honestly Nevermind, he kind of fell off for a bit. So I think with Her Loss, that was his comeback from that just trash of an album. The only one that I like low-key that I have in my playlist is Sticky, and I think Text Go Green. That's another good one.
Because when I listen to music, though, I'm not listening just for how good is this song. Yeah. Am I going to listen to this again? I'm listening for the lyrics. I'm also looking at Spotify, like, what is it saying whenever they're rapping, whenever they're creating their music? What is this beat trying to portray? What is the message behind the song? What is the message of the album as a whole? If you look at it like that, music becomes more beautiful automatically. Right? You're listening for more intent rather than how am I feeling. You're listening for the intent, which then leads you to a different feeling of just how is this beat? Because How Sticky It Gets, pretty stupid song.
I think that with that one, it's more of the beat that got me to add that song to my playlist. Yeah. So depending on like the genre or whatever, the instruments are what gets me. Like for my Spanish music, it's always the instruments that are going to get me.
I'm not saying that you have to add every single song or you have to like every single song. I'm just saying that there's a deeper purpose behind all the music. Unless you're Yeet, there's no other purpose besides money, drugs, and hoes. That's the only purpose of his music.
I didn't think we were going to bring him up in this episode.
I do whatever I want. I kind of that money for fun.
But he's in the album too, which was crazy. But the thing is, though, he's just getting a bunch of different people together from different cultures, because either way, it'll draw in attention. Because any publicity is good publicity. Yeah. And I told you that the other day, because if they're bringing in negative attention, if you're bringing in hate comments, that's still a view, that's still a listen, that's still attention to your music. So either way,
that's still $1 coming to their name.
He's still making money from us talking about him.
Literally,
that's his whole point.
Literally. How about some of the new like Spanish rappers that are out there? Like Mr. Doble P, Peso Pluma. What are your thoughts on him?
Oh, he's such a cutie pants. I just love his music. I'm being
so for real.
I love his music. He's good.
Okay.
But I only listen to specific songs, and I also don't really know what the lyrics fully mean. I can interpret some of it, but as for like the whole or the albums, I don't know what albums come in what. I just hear the music and I like it. So.
Do you know what's going on with him right now? he recently got a threat from the
cartel.
From the cartel.
Oh,
yeah.
I do know about that.
Yeah.
I lied. Psych, I lied.
Because he basically like dissed the cartel in one of his songs. So now they're after him, saying that if he doesn't like cancel his his concerts in, I think, Mexico City or something, that he's gonna be gone.
That's a real threat.
And this has happened before to another artist. Do you know who?
No.
His name is Chalino Sanchez.
I do not know.
He got threatened at one of his concerts.
Didn't he get shot on stage?
He didn't get shot on stage.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
It's probably happened before.
Because they're serious over there about that, though. It's a serious thing.
He died in 1992. Basically, he got a note during his concert.
Don't perform, and then he performed still, right? Or he said something. I heard about that
basically
actually.
That. And you can find the video like on
YouTube.
If you want to find the video,
I've seen it.
If you want to put the video in here, it's not a long clip.
Okay.
It's just him reading the note. And then, like, you can see, like, the fear in his eyes.
Doesn't the note say, "Do not perform this next song, or you will be shot," or something? And then he
something along those lines.
And then he performs the song, and he gets shot.
Yeah.
What?
No.
Well, something happens along those lines.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the right story, but I've heard of the story before. Now that you like the name, obviously, I probably wouldn't remember, but the storyline sounds very familiar.
It's happened before, and it's happened again.
That's crazy.
He takes a like brief moment to like pause, gather his thoughts because it's gonna be like his last moment being alive.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to continue the concert.
Because you can't really do anything at that point.
Dies at 31. 31, man.
Well, that's not too young. If you look at rappers nowadays, they're dying at like 18, the 21 Club.
Yeah, that was just in the 90s too.
But yeah, that's in the 90s, so a different time, different period.
Which brings me to another point on the 90s and like artists dying. Selena only died 3 years after Chalino Sanchez died.
Correlated?
Maybe? No, I'm just kidding. I doubt that she pissed off the cartel. She was a queen.
Wasn't it just like natural causes? I don't know how she died.
Selena?
I don't know how she died.
No. Basically with her like vice president or her president of the fan club was embezzling money from the fan club, and she finally got caught. So whenever her and her dad came to confront her about it, she was basically denying everything, and then they find like proof that she was doing it. And like they get into this big old fight. Selena goes back to her hotel the next morning to, like get the money back. And then homegirl Yolanda pulls out a gun. And then she shoots Selena. And then Selena like runs down to the main office at the hotel that she was staying in.
Yeah.
And, she gets the person at the front desk, calls the ambulance.
Okay.
And she goes to the hospital. Dies on the way to the hospital, bro.
She already got shot, right?
Yeah, she's already shot.
Like
she was shot, I think, in the back.
Oh, okay.
In the back. So she was bleeding like the whole way down to the front office. And then I think she either dies on the way or in the hospital, because in the movie they exaggerated her death a little bit.
Yeah. You kind of need to, though, to add more like film into it.
Yeah. So in the movie, the way that they did her death was in the ambulance on the way over there, and it's her dropping the ring that Yolanda gave her as a present. But I think in real life, I want to say that she died in the hospital. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can't stay safe out here. As soon as you hit big, you're always going to get a threat from like...
Because no matter like how good of a person you are, there's always going to be somebody that is opposing your opinion and that does not like what you do. As of now, I don't think Mr. Beast has a lot of like hatred towards him, but I could see people that do not win certain giveaways or don't get invited to videos. He could probably develop like a murderer off of that. Like somebody who's so intensive on, I need to win this money, why isn't he picking me? They go a little crazy. They probably develop some bad feelings for Mr. Beast. That's probably where it could lead to.
Or even the people that have been in the videos, but like it just didn't work out for
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like you said, yeah.
Like didn't win. So people could go crazy off that because that's a lot of money. And you could see it as like, why doesn't Mr. Beast help me? He's helped all these other people before. So hopefully Mr. Beast stays safe out here. Just hit 200 million subscribers.
Literally.
Which is insane because...
Has that even like happened before,
I think that
or is he the first?
I think that has happened. But it's this big Indian music industry thing that they are accused of buying subscriber bots. So who knows? It's called T-Series.
Wait, are they the ones that like built the sandcastles or whatever out of dirt?
I don't know, but I just know that they're a big YouTube company, but it's a big production team like running it. It's not just one person. It's like Indian or Middle Eastern music. We don't think about it, but India has 1 billion people living there. 1 billion.
Never mind. This is the opposite of what I was thinking. But like, there's these dudes that are just like building water slides out of dirt. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
They're in the forest and they're making their own like houses and water slides. That used to be really popular, but they're not the most popular.
You know what I did hear though?
What?
That all of that was fake.
It probably was. I heard that too. Because in reality, the way how like the sun is going down, and they have to, if you think about it, they have to position their cameras around. They have to get all this equipment out there and all that stuff. So in reality, they could have just had a big old bulldozer or something in the background where the camera's not pointing at, and when they end the footage, they just bring it over, scoops them up. And I know in some of the footage they're like actually doing the work, but you could just easily just do that for a little bit, bring out like a little bulldozer / a tractor. Like, do you reminisce on high school ever, or do you feel sad about not being in high school anymore? Like, how is college compared to high school?
That is a good question. I think depending on the day, like if I go in my Snapchat memories, then I'll see like, oh, like whenever you asked me to homecoming, I was like, oh, that was so sweet. And I kind of miss being in high school. But we had a lot of restrictions. I would have to say, like whenever we were still in tennis, we had to be in the class period and go to practice. Like, no, I was not about to do that. And I think that's why the coach hated me. That, and I was the only person that would like stand up for myself and say, no, like I'm not going to do that.
You stood up for what you thought was right, and that's good.
Even though he made me run even more, I still stood up for myself.
Well, because personally, I didn't care about being in the class and being after school. Just so you guys know, her and I were on the tennis team together whenever we were in high school. That's how we met when I moved to Oregon my sophomore year, and I started playing tennis in Texas. That's how we met, and we were in that senior year, but she left before the season ended, the spring season ended, and I stayed the whole entire time. And then after that, I quit after that.
Let's talk about how your little scholarship got taken away after you quit the team.
It didn't get taken away.
Oh, it didn't?
No.
Oh, then never mind.
She's tripping balls.
I really was.
I was going to say, though, like, restrictions, we have restrictions in place, obviously, to not do bad things, but restrictions make us want to do the bad things even more. So placing a restriction, you know what I mean? Because
if he's to look like idiots.
Yeah.
Or make him look like an idiot.
Yeah, if he's restricting us from doing all this stuff, like he restricted me from not messing around at practice, and it's just practice. Like, we're here to have fun. We're here to also get better, but if we're getting better and having fun at the same time, I see no harm in that.
And he restricted me from not being able to have a job.
He called you like a dog or something, right?
He did call me a dog, and because I guess it was when we were talking, and like obviously we would like follow each other to go get like water or something, and he basically called me a dog, and I was like, dude, you're a math teacher and a tennis coach. Be so for real.
He's a vet too, so that's why he was thinking probably.
See?
He's a vet.
Yeah, because I feel like taking off my shoes now, but I don't
Just take your shoes off. No one's even gonna look.
You're so right. Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm taking off my shoes.
Taking off my shoes too. What the heck? It's a good idea. But like, do you reminisce about high school at all? Like you said, depends on the day. But
yeah.
So what days do you reminisce?
Maybe like if it's an important event that happened, like the homecoming, which was a special moment for me because that was the first time I ever got asked to homecoming, or that I even like put any thought into homecoming, because it was our senior year. And like low-key, you crossed something off my bucket list by asking me out to homecoming, because I've never been asked to anything. I went to prom junior year, but I just basically forced Julian to go with me. I was like, hey, you're going to prom with me. Mm-hmm.
And he did it.
And he didn't ask me. And I was like, dude, are you not going to ask me? And he was like, no.
That's tough.
Like flat no.
I didn't go to proms, or I did go to prom, but I didn't ask anybody except Josh. So
as you should, though.
But do you have more things on your bucket list? Like, what is your bucket list?
I don't really have one main, but I guess like cliche things that I kind of want to happen to me, like being asked to prom, that's one of them. Being asked to homecoming, that's another one. My favorite celebrity, like taking my phone at a concert, that's another one of them.
Yeah.
Seeing my favorite artist.
That was pretty cool.
That's another one.
I think for mine, though, it's more experience-based rather than like question-based. The questions can be asked, but will that be followed through on, or will that even be memorable enough? Question mark.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more of the experience. I want to go see the Aurora Borealis. I want to travel to every single country in the world.
You keep talking about
every single continent. I'm gonna make a video on that one day, guys. Traveling to every single continent in the world. I got one down,
Get this
the
video
USA,
to 1 million likes.
and I went to Mexico one time as well.
What part?
I don't know. I was 3,
Nice.
but I don't remember it, so I gotta go back, right?
I think another one of the things that I want to put on my bucket list is to travel more because the farthest that I've been
See,
is probably Colorado.
there's a whole
Or-
world out there.
Is it Colorado
Yeah.
or California that's farther?
I mean, it depends where you went in Colorado. It's probably California though, because California, we're we're kind of the far right of Texas-ish,
Yeah.
so California would be extremely far away. Colorado's a little bit up. Like it only took you probably like 10 hours to get there, right? 16-ish.
2 days.
You just gotta go out and explore more because there's a whole world out there.
Yeah.
And to think there's other worlds out there that
No, 100%. I want to know what the people in Oregon are like because you keep talking about Oregon and I'm like,
they're hippies. Just think of Austin on steroids.
yo.
That's what it is. And everything's legalized.
Yo.
Everything's legalized.
I
All
would
weed.
not want to take my sister there or Taya.
There's-
Imagine Taya in
Yeah,
Oregon.
she would love it though.
She would love
But
it.
there's bongs
Taya.
in gas stations, there's alcohol, there's drugs, there's
Yeah.
everything in gas stations.
Yeah.
That's why their homeless problem is so bad, but they also
Is
help
it?
the homeless the most.
I think homeless is always going to be a problem depending on where.
It is in major
like in-
cities.
Yeah,
always.
or yeah, in Mexico where my dad is from, it's a big problem. Like every red light, there's always like these little kids with their moms like trying to sell something, or there's the people that are like always asking to wash your cars. It's always sad.
It's so bad, at least in America, as much as I've seen personally, because there's a gap between the wealthy, the poor, and middle class.
Yeah.
There's no like in between any of those really. You're either poor, you're either middle class, or you're wealthy. You're not like middle class, wealthy-ish. You're not
Yeah.
poor, poverty, middle class-ish. You're just like one of the three.
What
mainly.
do you think you are? Or your parents?
I think I'm poverty right now. I'm out of college.
No.
But I think in reality, I'm probably like closer to middle class. Like there is still the exception. There is always going to be people between. Your family, according to FAFSA, is definitely middle class.
Well, they're liars. So I have beef with FAFSA right now, guys. I graduated.
Frick FAFSA. Well,
Frick FAFSA.
keep funding me, but
Give me money.
she needs money the most.
I do.
I get it for no reason.
No, you deserve it though. You were really smart. You graduated. You were what, 19?
What?
In the class?
Oh, I'm 18.
Oh, 18. My bad.
No, I'm 18 years old. I was
Oh.
19 in the class, yes.
Whatever.
I graduated on the stage, guys.
Basically, for me, I did all the fine arts. I did not all the sports. I did sport.
You did fine arts, a lot of the fine
did
arts.
do fine arts, and I did very well in fine arts. Apparently, wasn't enough for FAFSA. And my parents, they seem wealthy on like,
Well, on paper,
paper?
obviously, but when
but
you
in
put the-
reality,
yeah.
no. A lot has happened to us while my sister has been in college. For me, I did the best that I could on my end to apply for a lot of scholarships through the university and also through the school. They may not have been turned in on time, but I
some
still
stuff
applied
was
for
got.
them.
Yeah, money was got.
Yeah, so
And-
when we did apply for FAFSA, I still had like some hope that they were going to give me something, but according to them, parents make too much. So
Yeah, that's a good lesson for anybody who's in high school right now too. Please go to your counseling office if you're in your senior year
Please.
of high school and just go check and see if they have scholarships for you, because I was fortunate enough to have a person / people that would go check these things for me and would come call us down to their office. It's a talent search group here in Texas. I don't know if they have it in anywhere else in the States or in any other countries.
Yeah.
Some high schools receive funding based on their electives. Some electives support that. There's also sponsors that sponsor the school. So either way, there's money to be received at your high school, most likely. A lot of that people don't know about. At our school, they only started promoting it really this year.
Yeah.
Because prior years, there wasn't enough people applying, which meant there wasn't enough money being received.
there also wasn't enough people like going to college either.
So people weren't
feel like-
sponsoring as much.
yeah.
But now, if there's more people, because they advertise it so much during our high school year, so they're going to get a lot of people now. But if your high school doesn't talk about it much, you should definitely go look, because you can bag all that stuff. If you're the only person that's applying, they're going to pick you because they have to. They
And
can't.
a lot of them too, they don't even a lot of them don't even have the essay, so
A lot of them
so
just are like
easy.
one page, like fill out your information,
Yeah.
meet this requirement, and you submit it.
Yeah.
And then, like, obviously looking for scholarships elsewhere is really hard, but the high school ones are usually really easy. As long
Mm-hmm.
as you go ask your counselor or something, you can probably get a few $1,000s easily. That's not even like having the best of grades,
Mm-hmm.
the best of GPA. You can just maybe be involved in one extracurricular and they provide a scholarship. Like
really all
for
it
me,
takes.
there was a tennis scholarship that only like 2 or 3 people applied for. They only accepted like 2 people. So I got
funny.
it. And I mean, it was $500,
Yeah.
which is easy money. And I didn't have to do anything really.
Yeah, same thing for me too. Fortunately, I was in choir and I was like a highly respected like officer in choir too, so I got another $500 for being in the program as well.
Yeah. And do these early because if you wait till last minute, you're not going to perfect your
Yeah.
essays and all that stuff.
When did you start applying for
Well,
scholarships?
it just doesn't really, it depends on the due dates because most of them are in spring
100%.
semester anyway,
Yeah.
but just start early because that gives you time to build and get peer review on that stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's this one girl in our school, I won't say her name, just obviously, I don't want to say a lot of names on the podcast without them know, like,
I think
you know,
I know who you're talking
yeah,
about.
but she got a lot of the scholarships, but she also probably put the most amount of effort into her
Yeah.
essays. She had the most amount of things going for her. So the more things you're involved in as well, the better. And it's better if you start freshman year, get involved in a bunch of different stuff. I know that sounds weird and maybe you're not interested in a lot of things, but if you try something, you may actually end up liking it. Doesn't have to be just sports, doesn't have to be just fine arts. It can be just
it can be literally
arts and
anything.
crafts club, cooking
and
club,
cooking
tickle
club.
my pickle club.
That's not a thing. We even started a crochet club this year.
So do everything, really. Everything helps.
You don't even have to be in it for that long. It just builds up your resume low key.
Yeah, it really does. And it's easy money.
Yeah.
But I was going to go back to reminiscing on high school
Oh yeah.
because I personally don't ever really think about high school. I don't know if that would upset you
Nah.
because I'm living in now. Like,
Yeah.
for me personally, I don't have to go back into the past and find happiness to find what's happening now. I can look what's happening now and enjoy the present moment because when I'm doing podcasting, when I'm doing YouTube, I need that to happen right now. I need someone to focus on what's happening now. And of course, I can research, I can look in the past, look what's done better. But I'm so focused and here right now because I'm determined to succeed. And I can't be reminiscing on the past a lot, I feel like, if I
So
want to
real.
succeed. So being stuck in the past can be a bad thing. And I'm not saying it's not a bad thing to just think about good memories that happened before, but there's a point where maybe it becomes too much. I think.
Oh, 100%. That's not the way that I'm seeing it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm
no,
just
no, no.
saying.
I had a good time senior year. Yeah, I think that was probably senior and sophomore year were probably my favorite years of high school. Junior
Well,
year was
yeah.
all right.
I mean, I loved high school. I loved the experience, but I try not to think about high school too much anymore. And I guess I don't try not to think about it. It's just something that I don't even think about.
Yeah.
I don't go to sleep at night being like, oh man, I miss high school. I don't go to classes thinking, oh, I miss high school. I'm just here now. And
I'm just here in the now, trying not to like have my 10th breakdown of the day.
well, you try. That's all that matters.
I may not succeed, but I do try.
But I think it's weird though, because a lot of people I ask do still think about high school, at least in some parts.
Really?
Like, I mean, you technically still did with the homecoming and stuff, and that's great, obviously. But just me, I don't think about any of it really.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just comes from a place of where I've always just pushed memories out and always just tried to live in the present. And that's happened a lot throughout my life. And I think I'm just so used to that I just don't really need to think back on these memories.
Mm-hmm.
If I do think of something, there's an identifier sometimes that will bring me back to that moment in the time. That's like nostalgia. It just brings me back. And that's like sophomore year of tennis for me.
Ew.
But I don't think about that too much, really. I don't ever really, it just never comes up for me. But if it did come up, I might start thinking about it a little bit, but it wouldn't be for that long. I don't
Maybe
know.
like if I found a medal from sophomore year, that's when I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like I forgot this happened.
I don't know if that's happened to any of you guys because I know a lot of people do still reminisce on their past in high school and stuff, but it's just not like that for me.
Do you think it's a bad thing for people to do that?
I think there's a point where it becomes bad.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a point where you're like, man, I wish I was just back in high school. Like,
if you like go to your high school and like start taking over the clubs and stuff that you joined, that's too much for me, bro.
or if you're like still trying to hang out with your high school buddies and you're in college now, going to their school and trying to hang out and
Okay,
stuff,
I was
like that's what
gonna
like. It gets bad at that point.
Yeah.
If you have a friend that's in high school, that's fine, obviously. Please don't let them be a freshman and you're trying to get with them. Please,
never,
guys.
Never.
I
Please
get it's
don't.
freshman on freshman action if you're a college person, but it's not the
That's
same
sick.
thing. It's not the same thing.
It is not.
But like, how is college now, though?
It's definitely not what I was expecting it to be like. Like I told you a while ago that I did not see myself being where I am now academically. I thought that it was going to be too much for me to handle. And I was just like automatically assuming that I was going to fail. With the amount of resources that we have here, it's kind of impossible for me to fail unless I purposely like put myself through that.
I think that's just a thing that's portrayed in American media when we grow up.
Or
There's
even by our
always-
teachers in high school too.
That's something we're always going to see, though. Oh, we're always going to see this partying in university. We're always going to see these people studying late at night in college. It's portrayed in everything.
Yeah.
But it's not really like that sometimes. I'm not just sitting in my room at night with a lamp and reading books and writing notes. I'm not ever doing that. And I'm not saying that's not everybody, but I'm saying that's a stereotype that was developed because of the media.
Or that you're like sleep deprived every single day from
Well, I am
being
like
in
that.
college.
But
Well, that's just you.
that's just me.
You've always been like that.
Yeah, but it's just a thing that media portrays, but
100%.
college isn't really like that. It's
100%.
crazy.
The
Like,
advice that I have for all the ones that are overthinking about college and stuff, it's not all bad, depending
There's-
on your major too, because that's a different story.
yeah, we can't speak for like doctors or
We
lawyers.
cannot speak for the pre-nursing.
If you're in
cannot-
college for 6 years, you're in college for 6 years. I'm
No,
sorry.
if you're in
Bye.
Yeah, if you're in
You have
college,
fun with that. That's not
I'll
me.
see you on the other side.
Mm-mm.
I don't know about mine, because mine is a music major, but
Yeah,
yeah, I'm a music ed major, so like I'm going to school to be a teacher.
yeah.
So like my schooling, it's okay right now because I'm taking my gen ed courses with like 2 music classes. But basically after that I'm gonna have to be like a full music student and then have to take my gen ed courses like later.
Isn't that what you want though? Don't you want to pursue your major and learn more about it
But like for me, I do not want to get burnt out.
with music?
Yeah, with music, so that I don't like pursue my dream. And I see that like a lot of people do that and like they'll change their majors and stuff like that. And that's something that I do not want to do.
Do you think that's a thing to be so passionate about something that you get burnt out?
100%. 100%. I experienced that all 4 years of high school.
Yeah. What were you passionate about that you got burnt out with?
Choir.
Choir?
Yeah, only because we had UIL, so it was just like practicing. Like before, it would be like the week before, I would feel like so burnt out that I would like not even want to go to class. But I would always just think of that big trophy
Mm-hmm.
and just
Get
know
through
that
it.
and just know that after we get that trophy, hard part is over and we just get to do fun music.
Yeah, I kind of disagree though. I feel like if you're so passionate about something, there's not a point where you would get so burnt out unless you're overworking yourself.
Oh, no,
I
not
think-
like so burnt out, but like a little like overstimulated, I guess, is
That's
what
a-
I'm trying
yeah.
to say. But not like so burnt out to where I like want to quit.
Because I know Mr. Beast, it's going to sound uncorrelated, but it really is correlated because I know how much effort he puts into every single video. He wakes up at like 5 a.m. every morning. He goes to work out for like an hour. He goes and plans all these video ideas throughout the day, or he records throughout the day, or he spends his whole day working on his businesses. All that stuff every single day, 7 days a week.
That's crazy.
I know, but he's so passionate. He's so...
And you can see that in the content that he makes too.
It's not bad content. It's totally amazing content. He
Yeah.
puts so much effort into the content. That's how you know he loves it. And he's always said in every single interview, this is what I want to be doing with my life. This is what I want to do with my whole entire life. I'm so happy that I do this. He said, of course, yes, it's a little tiring, but that's the effort that he wants to put in. That's the production he gets out of the effort that he puts in. And he says that movie producers should be doing this more. Like Netflix shows, why does it take a year to come out? You want to give people breaks? They're not burnt out, really.
Yeah.
They may work really long hours, but if you push them to the limit, productions will be so much faster in life.
And it'll take them so long too for like the new season of the show to just be mid.
yeah.
And for
It's
them
so
to like
bad.
end it on a cliffhanger and then just have the show end
Why
there.
is it so hard to make a good second season of something? You see that with Riverdale. You see that with Outer Banks a little bit, I would say. There's always just like the first season is always the best, but creativity goes down a lot. And I feel like a lot of those people just feel burnt out, even when they're not putting in all that effort
Yeah.
that they should be.
Do you think that they take so long making these shows or movies because they might be feeling burnt out in the process?
Well, I think that they just need to take a break in general because you can't just keep all this production crew working for that long.
Yeah.
But in Mr. Beast's eyes, if you're passionate enough, if you had a group that was Mr. Beast's, you could make Netflix documentary like shows
in like a week,
months from apart from each other, like weeks and months from apart from each other, which he's saying is how it should be. But obviously, you have a bunch of different employees from a bunch of different backgrounds. You can't really produce that much unless you raise the pay a whole lot. Maybe you don't have that fund. So
Let's make that our next topic.
fast food. Obviously, if you want money, go work fast food. Please don't stay there your whole life unless you truly have a passion for it. If you have a passion for management and you have a passion for, I don't know, helping Americans out, I guess that's a good thing. Probably you should probably be there. But a lot of people just quit after a little bit. A lot of people just quit just because it's fast food. You don't want to be there forever. It's just temporary.
and the like mental toll that it takes on you too is insane. Like whenever I used to work at Sonic, I would close like during the week, and then on the weekend I would get the opening shifts. But that's still like 5 to 6 days that I would be working as a high school student for $6 an hour.
That's pretty horrible. Yeah, Sonic has a really bad one, but you also get tips and stuff.
I did
I feel like it does kind of balance out a little bit.
I got
Hold on.
$800 from a random customer one time.
$800?
$800.
Hold up!
Yeah.
Where can I play at? I want that.
Yeah, it was during the time where my mom bought the Bad Bunny tickets for El Último Tour del Mundo. So my mom bought the tickets, and my sister, cousin, and I, we were just paying in payments to pay our ticket. I was like $200 or $300 away from like paying her back completely. I was working one night.
Yeah.
Obviously, because
Sonic grind.
Because what's a girl gonna do on the weekend?
Yeah.
I was working one night, and I remember I got the scan. So my manager was obviously screaming, "Get the order, get the order!" I got the order. I put it on the tray.
Are you allowed to be sharing this information right now? Is Sonic gonna come after you?
I mean, if the Tater Talk comes after me, then we'll see. They always want me back anyways. I was
Okay.
such a good employee.
Keep going.
But yeah, I took the food out, and I remember the meal. It was a large number 7 meal. If you don't know what the number 7 is from Sonic,
What's the number? I don't know what it is.
it's the foot-long chili
glizzy?
cheese dog.
Okay.
The foot-long glizzy.
I like that. Let's keep going.
And I gave it to him, and he just hands me a stack of 20s, and I'm like, no, it was like only $7. Like, why are you giving me all this money? He was like, no, that's for you. And I was like, no, sir, I can't take that. And he was like, no, like, this is for you.
Stack of 20s. Like he said, it was for you.
For me specifically. And, I didn't know what to do with all that money. So obviously I'm going to go to the bathroom and count all the money. So I went back inside, put the tray back, told the manager, hey, I'm going to use the restroom. And I went to the bathroom, called my mom, said,
Smart.
hey, man's handed me this wad of cash. What should I do with this? She was like, okay, count the money and I'll be on my way to go get it. And I was like, okay.
It was like a heist.
It
Low-key.
kind of was.
She was your getaway driver from Sonic.
But the money was given to me legally, I hope.
Illegally. No, but the thing is, do you think that it could have not been legal?
I mean, who knows? It was a middle-aged white man in a blue, I want to say Silverado. Yeah, my mom came to pick up the cash. It was really suspicious because she just parked in the back, and I just, trotted along to give her my stack of 20s. And I want to say that was a sign from the gods up above.
Yeah.
For me to pay off my debt, because after that, paid off my debt.
Or it could have just been a man who was involved in some dirty business and he wanted to get rid of some money quick. He didn't want to have it anymore, so he gave it to you.
Well, didn't get caught. Didn't get
Could
caught.
have been an FBI agent compensating for something he may have done to your family, but you guys didn't know it yet. Who knows? He's a time traveler giving you money because he know that you needed it.
Well, me and my bank account thank him for that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just saying random stuff.
Me and my bank account thank him for that. That's just one of the experiences that I've had with working in the food industry. Another one was on my first day of Sonic. I got change thrown at me from one customer, and then I got called a female dog by another customer.
Drake moment.
Right?
Crazy.
So then I came inside, obviously crying, because what's a girl to do on her first day on the job whenever she gets called a name? So my manager went outside, cursed the man out, and she was like, and don't ever talk to my employees this way again.
Whew, tell her.
Never saw the man again.
I was going to talk to you about something because I know that you've always grown up in Texas your whole life.
Born and raised.
Same house.
But
a small city life.
Yeah.
And I've always grown up in an urban area, a city area. I've always grown up there. So do you think that makes a little difference in our personalities or
100%.
our way of thinking?
I think so. I think like growing up in a city like you did, you were raised to think more like survival rate type of thing, because you had to grow up. You grew up and you would like take public transportation. You would like walk to school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For us, it was like, because it was a small town, everything was like within 5 minutes driving.
Yeah.
But it was still our parents that would take us, like if we were lucky, or we got picked up by the school bus.
Like, it's not as dangerous in a way, but you still learn survival skills no matter where you come from.
I think I started learning them when I was in middle school. Whenever I started walking to like the store, it was just across the street from my middle school. But like still, I never crossed the street before alone.
Yeah,
like,
and you still kind of struggle with that today, which is crazy to think about.
I struggle with like taking the bus and stuff.
Because just like from where I'm from, everyone just does that. It's not a thing that we think about. We don't think about just crossing the street is dangerous or getting in the bus is dangerous. That's like a means of survival.
Yeah.
In a way, because we have to do that to get to where we need to get to. Mm-hmm. Like, and if you're from that, then crossing the street is like another normal thing.
Yeah.
Because once you know, it's all about mindset, and our mindsets differ from where we grew up in. If you know that the cars aren't going to go if you're walking across the street, then you can walk across the street. But obviously there's those people that are on their phone or they're drunk or any of that stuff, but you can't think about that when you're walking across the street. Mm-hmm. If you think every single car is a drunk driver or an idiot on their phone, you're just not going to ever be able to walk across the street. Yeah. So it's about mindset.
Yeah.
But I think growing up in the city definitely does teach you different values, different things, because you also have homeless people all around the streets. Then you also have a lot more government involvement, because you're going to see all these police officers around all the time. You're going to see people's political opinions, not trying to get political obviously, but you're just going to see, you're going to see people like that. You're also going to have more experiences because there's more things to do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying you can't have fun experiences at home, but you're going to have different experiences obviously when you're living in the city. I just think it's crazy though, how our minds are different from that.
Or even if you like move to go to school anyways, you're gonna have to learn all those different experiences. Like me, I didn't know, like I was too scared to cross the street whenever I was a kid. Yeah. So crossing the street now, it like kind of scares me. I've already had a car honk at me.
This is a honk though. I'm just telling you to move that thing.
She did not look very happy when I was crossing. But yeah, basically stuff like that I've learned since being here, like taking the bus. Like whenever you were gone, I had to learn how to take the bus without you.
And that's a good thing though. Since society is always evolving, these are like things that we need to know regardless. Yeah. Like, so I think it's just a good thing to be learning that. And also, I don't know why, but if adults are listening or people that plan on having kids, definitely let your kids go experience things in the city. Like, please 100%. Let them go walk across the street by themselves, but tell them the precautions and safeties that come with that, because they need to learn regardless.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah, you just gotta put the training wheels on and then push them out in the street, and hopefully they don't get run over, like crossing road.
Take the training wheels off.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, I forgot. You would say you're afraid of walking across the street. Mm-hmm. Don't be embarrassed. But do you think that fear is learned, or are we instilled with it? Or do you think some fears are learned throughout our life, or do you think fear is just what we're born with?
I think learned throughout our life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. But I think there's some fears that we're born with. Yeah. If you think about it, when animals are evolving, just hold on a second, right? There's some animals that have gained instincts over the years from evolution in the past. Maybe bears didn't hibernate, but since they learned that in the wintertime they can't survive because there's no food, they eventually started going into hibernation. But before that, maybe they didn't know that they had to hibernate. So it's like evolution brings that stuff with us. And also, since when animals evolve, there's always new animals being brought into this world and more animals going extinct. Yeah. When a new animal, let's say an armadillo or something, encounters a new bird species they've never seen before, this bird can always track down where they're at, always just like pick them up from the sky and bring them up and drop them, kill them. That's when future armadillo will start breeding, and it'll be instilled in the baby armadillos that to avoid this hawk or this bird, and then they'll gain a new instinct to be afraid of that bird and how to avoid it. So in that same sense, when humans are born, that probably means we evolved a little bit, because back then we weren't afraid of cars. We weren't afraid of planes.
Other animals walking around without shoes.
But now when we see cars, we know, oh, car crashes can happen, or oh, this can happen. And we communicate with each other And that is like a thing that we're born with now, is to be afraid of like disease, to be afraid of this, to be afraid of that. Those are things that we've gained over time, because starting out in life, we weren't just afraid of, is my internet working? Like stuff like that's not a real fear, but there's fears that have been, like, I would say, developed over time from evolution of humans. But there's also fears that we learn because they're taught to us. Don't walk across the street without looking both ways. Don't hop in a back of a white man's candy van.
Or
all that
if
stuff.
you're a woman, never walk alone.
Yeah, that's something that is more recent, right? Because
never walk alone at night. Whenever you're like out somewhere and there's like drinking and stuff, like never leave your drink alone.
yeah, because it could be messed with.
Roofied.
Yeah, but like, see, those are things that like have come over time.
Yeah.
Where maybe
wild.
that's why we teach that to other people, and that's where we learn fears. Like for me, I feel like clowns should have never been scary ever in life. Like,
Don't get me started on.
it's not like we're born afraid of clowns, but we're taught that there can be killer clowns, or we watch these movies where we learn there's killer clowns, and that's when we're afraid of clowns after
Or if
we
we
learn
were just
that.
alive during like 2016 and 2017.
But 2016 was a good year, though.
It was a good year. A lot happened that year.
But it's because of the music that was being made that year. The music is all upbeat. The music's all happy. Let's move on. What do you think is the difference between growing up as a guy versus a girl in today's society, now that we're just talking about it? Because I know there's a lot, obviously, but I would want to hear your opinion first. How much time is on that?
We're at 15.
I'll just end it, because we're going to have like 15 minutes left.
Okay.
It started?
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
let me hear it.
Maybe growing up as a girl, or at least I remember being taught to dress conservatively, to not give anything
What
away.
does conservatively mean?
Like,
Dress
covering everything,
Okay.
to make sure that boys don't get the wrong ideas, to never be
Yeah.
alone with a man, because you never know what they're going to be able to do.
Yeah.
Never be alone when you go to the restroom, never like walking alone. Basically, like knowing that you're never going to be equal to a man no matter what. Like,
That's taught to you? Or do you think you just...
I picked up that I'm never going to be equal to a man, but what's taught to me is how to dress, how to act around like my male family members, to like be proper or whatever.
I feel like also when it comes to guys being accused of things, they're just more easily accepted than a girl being accused of something, which is a weird thing in society, but we probably deserve it. Think about all the things that the girls have gone through in society. The guys probably, not saying if you're falsely accused, it's a good thing, but just think about like how many times women in the past, you couldn't even vote for the first 2 centuries of this country existing. Crazy. That's crazy. Everyone's the same person, and women have valuable opinions. I'm just saying this so I don't get in trouble right now. Growing up for me, it was fine if I was alone. I grew up like as an only child. I talked about that in the last episode. It wasn't really a big issue, and I never had to go to the bathroom with anybody. I went to the bathroom with my mom when I was like 4, but she kind of needed me to.
Yeah.
We were never taught those things, and I think it's also just depends on parents, depends on religion, depends on race, all of those things, like how a girl is raised, because there's some girls out here with their bazoongis out on TikTok.
Their tatas out.
It's bad, but their parents probably don't care about that stuff as much.
Agreed, yeah.
And I feel like it's different regardless if you're a guy or a girl. Still can be different between different guys, different girls, because I don't know, for me personally, I just didn't really have any restrictions growing up. Just like I can play video games when I want, I can dress how I want. My mom did do like gel in my hair a lot and stuff, and she made me look clean, made me keep my hair not disheveled, but obviously the more restrictions we put on people, the further away we get from those things when we grow older. Look at my hair now. I don't want to put gel in it ever. I don't want to ever comb it. I want to
Guys, let me know if I should start doing his hair for school.
No, I just want to live my life now, and that's a slight restriction. That's not even a big restriction.
Yeah,
and I just don't want to do that anymore. Like I want to do my own thing with my hair. I like how it is now.
For me, the way that I grew up, I wasn't allowed to have sleepovers at all.
I never had any in general, but
only if it was like with Ashley.
Yeah, a trusted family members.
A trusted family member. And if there was a male in the house, no sleepover.
Yeah,
that was
crazy.
The big takeaway from the sleepovers. I'm still hoping that the guys out there will learn how to keep it in their pants.
Maybe there's some nice guys that develop in this next century or decade or whatever.
Guys, take some notes about this.
Guys, it's not all about harassment. It's about the Riz. It's about Riz, not harassment. All right, we don't need more guys going to jail.
We do not need more Florida old men to be caught.
I think I'm a good man, though. Some from time to time.
Yeah, you do say some controversial things, though.
What can I say? I'm a podcaster. Well, that was today's podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
Thank you for
Special
having me.
co-host / girlfriend / friend /
Friend.
/ what is it called? Acquaintance. All those things.
Acquaintance? The disrespect that this man is giving me right now. We've been
Yeah.
together for over a year, guys.
Oh, a year. That's pretty good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed though.
Leave a comment if you want me back on.
If you want her back, please don't diss her in the comments.
Please
I know
don't
you guys
diss me.
won't.
I know I'm just a girl, but like
she's just
please
a little
don't
lady,
diss me.
guys.
I'm
Please
just a
don't do it.
lady.
I'm recording off a webcam off a laptop right now. Not even a professional camera. Go rate us 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify. Like the YouTube, subscribe, comment, share.
Make sure
all
you
those
guys
fun
like
things.
and subscribe.
Join my Discord server right now.
Whoa, he's starting to sound like a YouTuber.
Peace out.
See you in the next one.